Alright.
We all live in a Pokemon world. Hey, ma.
It's wonderful. It's magical. Oh boy, here it is. Another legendary to fail. Alright, so we got ourselves, looks like only 7 or 8, I guess, Premier Balls. Alright, Zapdos. It doesn't even matter what I do here exactly. Hang on. I gotta angle this umbrella a certain way so I can get this capture. Where are you at? Stop moving, Zapdos. In fact, you know what? Forget the umbrella. We're going Golden Raspberry. If I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail spectacularly. That's the goal here. Do your attack, man. It is raining out here, which kind of makes sense. It is a dreary time trying to capture this legendary. You just won't stay put. Alright, first throw. Yes, everybody, that is right. I caught Zapdos. Now, before we talk a little bit about that, I do want to do something here. This Pokestop across the street from my own house has shown a couple of rare things over the past little while. I've seen a Bulbasaur, a Clefairy, I've seen evolved things like Lantern and Skiploom. Now, I remember hearing that when people use an incense in a rural area where they don't have a lot of general, regular types of Pokemon appearing, any sort of random number of things can be generated. So what I want to do is use not only just a lure on this stop, I want to use an incense. I did pick up each of these today from the shop, so let's see what rare Pokemon might be able to appear at this fountain right up here across the way from me. So let's fire that up, and then I'll talk a little bit about the legendary encounters this past little while. So first of all, I'm going to activate the incense first. That gives us a nice little bit of a time countdown, I guess. Should I do the? No, we'll do the lure first, because it'll run out before our incense. So let's drop that in, see if we can get any rare Pokemon to generate. First we have a Rattata. Let me get my items first, actually, too. Some basic Pokeballs and a potion. Now let's use the incense. Where are you at, buddy? Fire you off. So I have 2 possibilities of rare species appearing. So I'll get this Rattata. You can see it happen. But I want to talk about those legendaries. So as I said, you just saw, I did capture Zapdos after the heartbreaking ending to that last episode. Admittedly, of course, I played it up a lot more for the dramatics than I really needed to. I'm trying to put a nice little show on for you guys here, which leads me to mention that what I want to do is, or what I wanted to do initially with the channel here and the Pokemon GO videos, I wanted to have some more, I guess, interesting things happening, some more intense action. I actually had an idea of trying to do this series as a crocodile hunter kind of thing, where I would go all over the top, jumping over hedges and like rolling under benches or something to try to catch these Pokemon. So the day that this game came out, I was too excited just to go catch everything I could. So I kind of forewent, I guess, that idea. So I went to just basic video coverage. Ooh, it's not a bad spinner rack, actually. So I want to try to dress things up a little bit, because now that I have a better computer and better editing equipment and software, I can do kind of fancy things like that. So hopefully you guys weren't too upset by what was a pretty, I will admit, heartbreaking and depressing kind of a video for Pokemon Go. But I did it sort of just for the joke aspect of it. Hopefully you guys thought there was you understood there was a joke behind it. If not, now you know. So while we're waiting for the next things to spawn, I don't see anything just yet. Let's take a look at our Zapdos. Now, I kind of sped through the appraisal. I don't know if I'll show that on camera or not, but we'll take a look at the appraisal right now, what Spark has to say about our Zapdos. It's really strong. Best quality is the attack is really strong. It's the tiniest Zapdos I've ever seen. Come on, Spark. How many Zapdos have you seen in your time? So, as I say, I did capture Zapdos, but scrolling down here, you'll see, where are you at? I've caught a second Zapdos as of today. So since that video that I recorded for the first capture, I did get a second one. This one here, through the appraisal, it looks like I can battle with the best of them. Best quality is HP, which is the best. So technically this Zapdos is better. I am actually going to still stick with the first Zapdos that I caught. Kind of breaking my rule of using the 5th Pokemon of each species and making that into my main team member. I figured, well, with Articuno, I didn't have that option. I only have the one Articuno, of course. I didn't catch any others. But also, I like the idea that there's a lot of screeching people in the background here. Hopefully you can hear me better than the background noise. But anyways, I couldn't get the 5 Articuno. So I've been using that Articuno for things like Dragonite and other Pokemon to take them down. So it's kind of grown on me. So he's kind of like my main Articuno. I thought, keeping in that theme, I'll stick with that first Zapdos that we happened to find, happened to capture. So, I think that's going to be my Zapdos. Now, I do have the other Zapdos, which I can hang on to for eventual trading in the game. What do we just find? Pidgey. Basic old Pidgey. So, eventually, if they do put trading into the game, I've got a Zapdos with max HP, if anyone there wants it. Now, of course, I'll probably have to trade it for something of equal value or whatever, but another thing I was going to say about the stats, like, I could have chosen the Zapdos with the better HP, but in a way, the stats don't really mean that much, or rather the IVs of the Pokemon. My cousin was actually asking me, what is my opinion of IV calculator apps people use to appraise the stats of their Pokemon? Technically, it is an outside sort of, influence, an outside app that is not adjusting, but showing you stuff in the game that you can't exactly see specifically normally. For me, it's like, my first thought was I don't like stuff outside the game that is not really programmed into the game being made use of, but then I thought, they could use this calculator to find a max stat Pokemon. Does it really matter? Not really, because type effectiveness, you can, let me think. The lowest CP Zapdos, for example, not CP, the lowest IV Zapdos still has a pretty good chance of taking out the highest IV Gyarados because of type advantage, right? So, even if people know what the IVs of their Pokemon are, I don't really think that makes much of a difference. You can still take them down with proper training, proper type effectiveness, knowing what beats what type, and I guess that's it. So the fact that I'm going to keep my, lesser Zapdos doesn't really bother me. I'm still going to have a decent Zapdos as it is, and potential trading for maybe a legendary that I didn't get, like Moltres. Now, I will mention also, this is at the end of a day where I was uptown again trying to capture some more legendaries. I've tried and failed 3 times to get myself Lugia. I think the reason is I haven't caught Moltres, and as the movie says, movie number 2 or 2000, you have to disturb not the harmony of fire, ice, and lightning. Into thine hands bring together all 3. The treasures combined tame the beast of the sea. So I didn't get Moltres, therefore I can't get Lugia, and that is true of not everybody in the game, because I know some people that caught Lugia on their first legendary. So regardless, we get ourselves a Spearow. Room for improvement. Okay, fair enough. Oh, wait, Venonat has shown up too. So for the next little while, I'm going to let this lure and incense burn out. And if anything amazing pops up, I will get that on camera. Otherwise, I'll check back within you as the items are used up. Well, so far nothing too amazing has appeared just yet, but I want to take a moment here to take a look at my Pokemon. You can see my recent captures here. Pretty much general basic stuff. I was hoping for something super special, rare, like maybe... I know I was hoping for a lot, but is unknown too much to ask for in this kind of random area where kind of rare things have spawned? Maybe? I don't know. But I want to take a moment here, since I decided I am going to use both Articuno and Zapdos, the first ones I caught, as my main ones. I want to power them up at least once each. I have enough candy for both, of course. I want to see how much does the CP go up. So you're at 1631 Articuno. You're going up by 41 to 1672. Alright, that's not bad for sure. Let's see what Zapdos goes up by. Starting at 1855. Power you up by 1 stage there, buddy. You're going up by a massive 46 points to 1901. I think that puts you at my second high? No, actually going to be my fourth highest, I believe. That's still some good power to it, though. So, still sitting here waiting to see if the last 10 minutes brings us a special rare Pokemon. There's no telling what's going to happen. Yeah, I've heard that unknown are just really super rare, so my thought was, since I'm finding some rare things at this stop, like right across the street, I look out the window, I don't look out the window, I look at my phone, not out the window, and I see things like Bulbasaur, Clefairy, and stuff. I'm like, what more could occur? What could appear? What could be conjured up using a lure or an incense in this area? For example, a Paris. That's not really worth, but I'll get it for Stardust. As you just saw, I went through a good 5,000 Stardust to power those birds up. I'd use a little bit more. Yeah, it's only 100, but it is still Stardust. I have plenty of Pokeballs too. I don't even know how I got up to almost 200 Pokeballs through my adventuring. Actually, no, I kind of do know, because I took part in a lot of raids today, and that eats up the time more than, or it eats up more of your time than going around catching Pokemon along the way, right? So, anyway, we get ourselves a Paris, more candy and Stardust. But with that, if nothing else has spawned just yet, I will sign back off and wait for more rarities to appear, as we have a Room for Improvement Paris now added to our collection. Wait, there's a Nidoran. I'll get that off camera. Well, the incense has just burned out, and looks like the lure is over as well, and didn't find anything super amazing. We'll do a quick little recap of our recent captures. All basic stuff, so if unknown is out there somewhere, it's unknown where it's currently at. But rest assured, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled to this Pokestop for the rest of the day, because my cousin Mike is currently on the hunt for shiny Magikarp. We have a Magikarp nest in the Uptown area, so he dropped 2 lures in the park uptown, where Magikarp is known to be nesting. The entire time the lures were going, no Magikarp. As soon as the lures burnt out, Magikarp. And actually, another player was walking through there earlier today on our massive Lugia raids, and partway through he found Magikarp. It was a shiny for him, so shinies are still out there. But unfortunately, they didn't appear when my cousin was using the lure. So I'm thinking, even though we didn't find anything using our lure and incense tonight, unknown might still pop up. Very rare chance, but I'll keep my eyes peeled all night long. Watch it be like 3 in the morning and something amazing shows up. You know I'm running out here to get it, of course, and I will film that as long as everything is charged up and ready to roll. But I guess that is it. Sorry that this is a shorter video than the others have been, but I wanted to give you as a nice little happy ending to the Zapdos hunt because of how, again, overly depressing and disheartening I made that video out to be, intentionally. But I wanted you to know I did capture the legendary. And what's kind of cool, I kind of don't even care about getting the other legendaries. You know, I would like to get them for collection purposes, completion of the Pokedex, but all things considered, I got the 2 legendaries that I want. I've said before, Zapdos and Articuno were the 2 legendaries that I had in my main playthroughs for the longest time. In fact, if you're watching the other videos on the channel, the different playthroughs, you'll see Zapdos and Articuno have had some action already on the channel, so I'm kind of okay with not getting the others. Moltres, as I said, is my least favorite of the 3. Lugia is hard to get, so I'll just say that. And all things considered, I'm happy with what I got. Now, of course, I will still help out other players that are going for the raids, because you get a lot of good items just for beating the Pokemon. And if there's a chance I'll be in a group that can defeat that legendary, oh, you bet I'll be joining in on that to get those items. Catching is just the bonus. Like my nephew said to me, it's called the bonus challenge, or bonus catcher challenge, whatever it's called, right? It's a bonus. It's not guaranteed. So, I don't know, all that being said, I guess that's going to be a wrap for this kind of shorter episode of Pokemon Go. But thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to drop a like down below and leave a comment. How did you do with all the legendaries? Because this is, I think, the last day or 2, maybe the last couple days or whatever, of Zapdos being in the game. We don't know what's going to happen next. Zapdos will be gone. Is something coming in to replace it? Is Lugia still going to be around? Who knows? Will the legends stop for a little while? Get back to our standard raid bosses. But leave a comment. Have you caught all 4 legendary Pokemon thus far? If so, cool. If not, which ones have you missed out on? And have you had any cool, interesting encounters along the way? Did you meet some new friends, perhaps? Some new groups of people playing the game? Like I think somebody was commenting somewhere, Twitter, Facebook maybe, something like that, saying how they didn't know anyone still played Pokemon Go in their hometown. These raids proved otherwise. They saw so many people together to deal with these raids. So leave any comments you have on the current raid system of the legends down in the comments below. If you want to see some more videos that I have done, first of all, there's a link in the description to more Pokemon Go videos, the entire playlist. Of course, there's also, during the outro, some links to some other videos, such as Pokemon Coliseum playthrough on the go, Pokemon TCG Online, you got Pokemon news video thingies, news video thingies, every week or every other week. Just all sorts of good Pokemon content. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, you can also do so by clicking my face during the outro to get some daily Pokemon content from the good old professor here. With all that, I think it is time to head inside, let Unknown think I've given up on the hunt for the day, so we can start popping up over here, and I'll be back over there at some point. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I had to check my camera. It said battery low, so I gotta go charge up too. But with all that, we are now done. I want to say thanks again for watching. Professor Chaz is signing off, and I will catch you next time.